This one is going to hurt. You are trash. 50 Shades of Grey did us so dirty. It made us believe that a regular no one can attract not a six-figure earner, not a millionaire, but an actual billionaire. And on top of that, this billionaire, he's emotional and available, with lots of unresolved childhood trauma. He's also gentle when he wants to be, and finally he decides to wife you, and then you have a baby together and you live happily ever after. And this is the kind of story that you are also being fed in all Hollywood movies and everything else. It's like you can meet a guy who will be able to listen to you like Oprah does, but then he will also prepare you a 5-course dinner, and he will nail you to the wall, and then he will wake up in the middle of the night to be with your crying baby. One of the reasons that you may be thinking where all the good men are gone and why are there no good men left, it's because you may be looking for a unicorn. You are meeting a number of people and then you are picking and choosing from this assortee, whatever may be suitable for you. I got some props. You can't go out with this guy because of his credit score. This guy's family history is just no. There's no way you are dealing with that kind of trauma. Well, this one, everything seems quite alright, but I think I need to dump him because I can just see something terrible is going to happen. We might as well just break up before something terrible happens. Maybe, I truly believe, if you are in a situation where you are thinking, where are all the good men? Maybe you are simply chasing a unicorn. Are my chopstick skills alright or what? You may be saying, look Yeva, I am not looking for Christian Grey from 50 Shades of Grey. All I'm looking is just for a good, decent man. But there are no guys like that where I live. Okay, change your postcode. Sometimes you may need to start making moves in a slightly different area. So my girlfriend is a perfect example. She lived for, 20 years in New York, and for the last few years she was single. Life happened, she was single, she couldn't meet anyone, and then she relocated from New York to Austin, and she was surprised. There were so many guys that she was into. There were so many guys that she met, and she's like, wow, I am really attracted to these guys. She's very much into men that are very masculine, rough around the edges, borderline caveman kind of type. So when she moved to Austin, she was able to meet quite a few guys that were like, oh, I really like this, and I did not meet that many guys in New York when I lived there. Now yes, it could also be because something shifted in an energy, and I'll talk about it later through this video, but it could also simply be that in a different place there are different people. Now you may be in a situation where you can't simply go and move states, countries or cities. However, there are certain things that you are doing on a daily basis that you could be doing in a slightly different part of where you live. Maybe you can go to a slightly different gym that's more affluent. Maybe you can have your coffee in the area that you find more aspirational. Maybe you can go and do your shopping in places where you think, yes, these are the places where the person that I would like to meet would be there, and I'll talk more about specific places later in the video. Are you high value, or are you, my darling, high maintenance? You are being told by everything around you, social media, Hollywood movies, every article that you can read, that a woman, she can't do no wrong, you are so special, you are God's given gift, a little princess queen, and that all men should be bowing down to you just because you exist. Maybe you grew up with a father who reinforce that message from the very early age, and he did treat you like a princess, and now you're trying to match this same energy, finding a man who will treat you the way that your daddy treated you. I wonder what that's like when dad treats you that you're the most precious thing in the world. If that was your childhood, tell me in the comments. I'd love to learn more about that. I think it's very clear that a smart man, the so-called high-value man, is not going to want to surround himself with a lot of drama. He wants someone that can make his life better and not worse. The man that you're probably looking for already has a lot of things going on in his life. A woman that is extremely high maintenance and that wants nothing but queen treatment, and she's not willing to take any responsibility for her crappy behavior. I just don't think that's gonna cut it. And even if it does, in the long run, you would lose respect for that kind of man. If a man is allowing you to treat him like piece of garbage, he's not really a very high value man, is he? So again, we are coming to this chopstick situation where you are picking and choosing. There is a very difference between high value and high maintenance. Which one are you? This one is going to hurt. You are trash. The way you dress, you come across a bit like borderline prostitute. The way you look after your body, you are eating crap. You haven't exercised since COVID started probably. And the most important part that makes you really trash is the quality of thoughts that you are feeding yourself with. If you are feeding yourself with thoughts that you are not worth absolutely anything, which is a complete opposite of the previous point that I mentioned with high value and high maintenance. But if you're in that position, even if you think of yourself as I am the queen, and you're putting this bravado into the world that I am the queen, but then the thoughts that you are feeding yourself are that you are far from the queen, then guess what? There is no way you can attract a high value man. Also, your girlfriends are probably trash. You come together and you are bitching about men. You're saying how men are horrible, all these men are terrible, there are no good men left, and you are telling her this, she's telling you that, and you're just feeding each other on that information, and then it becomes your reality. Also, you being a trash may translate into something as, okay, I'm going to do absolutely nothing apart from watch Netflix and eat countless donuts, but then when you are on a dating app, you want someone with a six-pack. That I just rhymed this. Talking about dating apps and six-packs, my girlfriend told me something. So she's very much into her healthy lifestyle and going to the gym, and she's very fit. Apparently there are dating apps specifically for people that like to work out and that are looking for like-minded people. They want to be in a couple where they can work out together. She showed me her profile. I scrolled through some of the profiles of those guys and I was like, wow, I've never seen that many fit people in one place. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like fit, but for me personally, status is more important than a six-pack. Does that make me a gold digger? Oh dear. And now, jokes aside, if you are in a situation where you're just feeling really down and you've been treating yourself for a long time like nothing but trash, I know that the last thing you need is a woman on YouTube telling you that you are trash. So I'm really sorry if this is triggering you, but what is that one promise that you can keep to yourself that maybe you can start doing something differently? Maybe not just watching things, but actually taking action. What is that one small thing that you can start doing from tomorrow? You'll be surprised what those small things can do to you. I think it's very likely, if you're watching this video, and especially if you are a subscriber on this channel, that you are not trash. I'm saying that based on women that I've spoken to. Also, on the subject of trash, I was told that my videos actually are not trash and that I simply need to start asking people to subscribe to my channel. So please, if you are not a subscriber and if you're sick and tired of attracting trashy people and trashy relationships, subscribe and hit notifications so you don't miss when I post next. Another reason why it feels that there are no good men left is because that you are entertaining yourself with that 10% of men. The 10% of men are the ones that are getting all the matches on Tinder. The 10% are the ones that get approached even when they are on the night out by women, they get approached. And also the 10% include the ones that are already married, but they like to entertain themselves with additional attention, additional women, side chicks, mistresses, you name it. You as a woman, you'll attract a lot of men, whether it's online or you're going out somewhere, Instagram DMs. I can guarantee you're attracting way more attention than a regular guy. It's up to you who is it that you are going to pick. And very often you are probably ignoring a guy who's just a really good guy, decent. You want that spice, you want the chase, you find fascination, and it makes you tingle in all the possible places when someone is playing hot and cold, when you don't know when you're going to see them and hear from them next. So it's up to you. You can continue going through this route, dating players and saying there are no good men left, or you can do something yourself and change your own behavior and try to understand, okay, why do I keep going after these unavailable guys? Make sure you watch videos on my channel about that. Another reason why it is so difficult for you to meet quality men, or maybe just men in general, is because that you stay at home too much. You're working from home, you're doing your online shopping, you're also doing your grocery shopping from home, you're doing your exercise at home, everything is at home, and you hardly ever leave your house. So, and then you also refuse to use online dating because you're just too good for that. Now, if you're doing that, how do you think someone is going to meet you? Yes, it sounds romantic. A UPS guy coming, handling your parcel. I say UPS because I really like the uniforms they're wearing. I think it's just so cute. But I hardly ever get anything by UPS. A UPS guy is going to come and deliver your parcel, and then your hands are going to touch each other and you'll feel he's the one. But the reality is this is not going to happen. So if I were you, and if I wanted to attract a quality guy, I would think more strategically. Where would he be hanging out? Maybe you're someone who's into personal development. The chances are that you are, because you're watching this video. You want to make your life better. You want to improve yourself. So where would this guy be spending his time? Is he going to be at the local pub, or maybe it's going to be somewhere where he's making himself better? Maybe it's going to be at some sort of conference, an event, a self-development workshop, seminar, or something where he's trying to better himself, where he wants to meet like-minded people. So how can you strategically place yourself in those situations instead of just sitting on your sofa and complaining that there are no good men left? Because yes, keep complaining. Okay, don't take this personally, or maybe you should actually take this personally, but good men don't like your vibe. So you have this whole boss, biatch vibe going on. Don't talk to me, don't approach me, very resting biatch face, and all those things. And guess what? Good men are not attracted to that. Good quality men, they don't want that. They want someone a bit warmer, someone that's going to bring a bit of sunshine into their life, just like you. You want someone that will bring a bit of sunshine and not misery into your life. However, good news, there are a number of things that you can start doing if you want to actually come across as warmer and more approachable. I talk about that in this video here. If you enjoyed this, please click like and send it to more women that think there are no good men left. Subscribe, get notifications for more, and thank you so much for watching.